All right, and we are live with Booster Bestiary. Howdy, howdy, Pathfinders. Dustin here. We are going to make a monster out of random booster packs today, like we do every week. And I do have just a little bit of Paizo news that I can't wait till Friday to share. First of all, the Starfinder Humble Bundle book bundle is still going strong. So go ahead and check that out. You get yourself a print copy of Packed Worlds and the beginner box for, I think, $50, plus $422 in PDFs, which is all fabulous. In addition, check out Paizo Live this Friday when this stream usually airs. Kind of weird advertising for my competitors here, but Paizo Live is such a big deal that I'm actually pushing my show to Saturday at 4 p.m. instead. So check me out Saturday for my normal third-party reviews, and on Friday, check out Paizo Live because it's going to be huge. They're discussing new books, new APs. Pathfinder Society is going to be discussing changes to ACP. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of new information, and you're definitely going to want to check it out because we're going to have the co-author of Drunker's Delight. We're going to have the author and co-author to Kindled Magic. We're going to have Tech Revolution and Secrets of Magic discussions. It's going to be big. Go ahead and check it out on the Paizo stream on Friday from 4 to 6. When this show usually is. All right. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and do our Booster Bestiary. Let me check this out. Yep. All right. Bloop. Oh, that's a little dark there. There we have it. All right, so I've added a Yu-Gi-Oh pack because despite what you may think about the game balance, there are some really cool monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! And some really actually surprisingly neat mechanics that I wouldn't mind seeing in Pathfinder. So, got here my custom D6. We'll go ahead and roll, and I got, Jumpstart. All right. Well, this is an appropriate pack to open this week, as there is, I'm not sure I think we're just through the spoiler season for the new Arena-only Jumpstart, which will be the first Arena product to have Arena-exclusive cards. This was the paper Jumpstart product. Jumpstart, it's a lot like if you've ever played Smash Up by Alderac Entertainment Games. You open two of these packs, and each pack has a different tribe, a different creature type tribe, like goblins or dogs. And you mix the two tribes together, and they have certain synergies together. Certain cards in it were very, very sought after. I know the Skeleton Tribal Lord. Everyone likes the dogs, of course. I mean, it looked like would have been a really successful product if not for people not being able to go in person. Oh, and it is double packed, actually. The Jumpstart is double sealed. This way you could open a whole box, lay them out in front of each other. You'll see, this is the Archaeology Pack, which I think was about milling. I think this actually has a pretty good card in it. And you lay them out in front of you, and then each player could take turns picking, like, I want archaeology and dogs. And that would work different in actual play than, say, archaeology and wizards or archaeology and ninjas. Alright, so let's check it out. So, the Archaeology Pack comes with, archaeology is about artifice. I should have guessed that from the beginning. Alright, so already a flavorful start, a card I would have loved to have, Sharding Sphinx, gorgeous card, great art, awesome flavor, a Sphinx that just that makes little flying thopters that fly around it and do cool stuff. I've always been a huge fan of funnels, thopters, whatever you want to call them, like that, ever since Gundam. Little tiny flying artifact things that just help you out in combat. Vidalcan Archmage, it researches, not something you'd see in an encounter as much in Pathfinder, so more of an NPC. I'm sure he could do stuff, but he would just do whatever artifacts he has on him. He'd be like a broker in World of Warcraft. Alright, Buried Ruin. Nice. Could always use more of those for Commander. Hedron Archive, another great Commander card. Juggernaut. Again with Juggernaut, I'm feeling like post Guns and Gears there's some stuff we could do with this. But Juggernaut's almost like a vehicle more than a creature, you know? I mean, it's huge. You want to beat it apart piece by piece. I don't know. I'm not feeling. Now, Meteor Golem. There's an interesting one. There's a very interesting idea. A golem that is intended as almost artillery ammunition that comes out and just does a ton of damage right when combat starts. Ooh, that would be brutal. That would be quite an encounter. It would be interesting too because like the card costs a lot for how weak it is as a card. As only a 3/3 for 7, but destroys something when it comes out. So it'd be this idea of a monster that does a ton of damage right in the first round, but it itself isn't that strong. It's an interesting idea. I'm kind of digging that. I think I want to go with the Sphinx. I'm a huge sucker for Sphinxes though, but let's find out. All right, Thirst for Knowledge, Ether Spell Bombs, kind of cool stuff in the Vidalcan could use if he had himself. Ancestral Statue. It's a statue. Okay. Archaeomancer returns artifact from a graveyard to your hand. Neat. All right. So like the Vidalcan, it only does like if I was to make this, I would make it along with the Ether Spellbomb, and I would make it so that he could like use make whole on a alchemical bomb after he throws it, which that's actually pretty cool flavored. I'm talking myself into it. So far, still not as exciting to me as the Sharding Sphinx. Sorry, just not as iconic. I mean, how often am I going to get a chance to use Sharding Sphinx? I'm not going to be cracking Alara packs. Unless somebody out there wants to sell me retail price packs. Lightning Core Excavator. All right, here we have a golem that detonates itself to do damage to something because it's partially defective. Okay, that's pretty cool. I gotta admit, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. If I was doing more time than this, yeah, I totally would. Thriving Isle. Huh. I didn't even know this cycle of land existed. This might not be too... No, that's not worth it for your commander, but it's not the worst. Here's the unique Jumpstart land. And we're good. Alright, unless somebody else out there wants me to do like Archaeomancer and Ether Spellbomb or Vidalcan Archmage and Ether Spellbomb or one of the constructs we got, I think I'm going with Sharding Sphinx. Give me 1 minute to pull it up here on Scryfall. Sharding Sphinx. Or is it Sharding Sphinx? Oh, it's Sharding Sphinx. That's even cooler. Sharding Sphinx. Copy image address. Alright, and open up our monster tool, and we are ready to go. Now, like it suggests in the game mastery guide, when you start on a monster that is very much like that is not the right image there. When you start on a monster that is very much like an existing monster, you should first and foremost base off the stats of the other monster. It adds some good baselines you could work off of. The monsters in the book were very diligently made with all the guidelines in place, and it especially helps if you ever want to use both monsters in the same campaign. It helps make things more consistent. And consistency is the key when it comes to Pathfinder Second Edition, behind the scenes. At the table, you could be as crazy as you want, and your players will never know. You're basing all that craziness off a solid foundation. And that's what you want, is that solid foundation. This is a 6 mana creature. I do like using mana costs when thinking about what kind of level I want for my creatures. This is a level... Sphinxes are normally level 8. I think this one's going to be a little stronger. It is an artifact. Why would you improve... Well, for those who don't know, Sharding Sphinx is from the Shard of Esper in Alara. It is a shard completely devoid of red and green mana. So all that primal nature-y stuff is gone. So its life forms have begun to evolve themselves by combining a rare metal to their own bodies to enhance themselves. So in this case, this is an enhanced Sphinx. So it should be stronger than a Sphinx. I'm going to say creature level 10 instead of level 8. So it's going to be like a Sphinx, but it's going to be at 10 instead of an 8. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a 10 instead of an 8. So let's see if I could just make you... Alright, there we go. So, definitely neutral, definitely large. That's easy. That's a Sphinx. Sphinxes are, in fact, beasts. They have no other traits added to them, but this one will, because this one is partially a construct. If anything, they're actually more like androids. Do androids get get nifty traits in 2E? I'm not 1,000,000% sure. They do. They get the android trait. Well, it's not an android that much. It is a partial construct, partially made construct. Wirewood? I think they have the wirewood trait. Let's just give this the construct, and we will look into that partially later. I'm not 100% sure if construct is the right thing to put on here. I think there's another trait that means like partial construct, partial, kind of like maybe Wirewoods, we're just giving the construct. Oh, Wirewoods are constructs. Yeah, we are just giving this thing construct then, because construct does not instantly mean you have any immunities other than bleed. Oh, it does. Immune to bleed, death, disease, healing, necromancy, non-lethal, poison, doom, drain. But Wirewoods aren't. That is so weird. They are immune to bleed. Oh, that's because they have Living Machine. There we go. So we will give this Living Machine to get all that construct tradiness good out of the way. I think these are uncommon, too. I'm just giving it uncommon. You shouldn't be able to summon these. They're artifice sphinxes. They're special. They're cool. They're artifactors. They're sphinxes. Life finds a way to propagate itself. Yep. So, Sharding Sphinx. Alright, let's go back to Sphinx here. Sphinxes normally have extremely high strength and intelligence. They have good wisdom and charisma, low dex, and pretty good con. So we're going to give it moderate con, extremely high strength, not that high. Alright, so let's give it a +7 strength. Let's give it a +5 charisma. Let's give it a +5 wisdom. Let's give it a +6 intelligence, because they are slightly stronger than they are intelligent, although they are very intelligent. Let's give this a +4 constitution. Yeah, it would have more constitution being partially machine. I like that. And let's give it, let's keep its +1 dex. So the dex doesn't go up from a normal sphinx. That's fine. Alright, traits, many constructs lack the mind and mindless traits, immunities. Alright, cool. Alright, so I'm going to start off immediately by giving this the Living Machine. Though their body is an inorganic construct, they are a living creature. They are not immediately destroyed when reduced to 0 hit points, but rather fall unconscious and eventually die. They don't need to eat or drink. They can be targeted by effects that target living creatures or that target constructs. I like that. Alright, special abilities. Living construct. Wham! A Sharding Sphinx. There is no actions to that, and that is a defensive ability? Yes, it is. Alright, let's go to hit points. Normally, Sphinxes, I do not believe, have any resistances. They just rely on AC and hit points. Yes, they do. They usually have moderate hit points. That is fine with me. Moderate hit points, and their armor class is also kind of moderate. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. They have defenses in that they naturally fly, and this is going to have a bunch of little orbs floating around it doing cool things anyway, so yeah. Alright, their saving throws are high will, then fort, then reflex. Great, so let's give it a high will, let's give it a moderate fort, let's give it a low reflex. Excellent, excellent. No other adjustments to saving throws necessary except for the whole construct thing. We will make this immune to bleed because I don't think you could actually bleed out if you are an Esper artifact. Or at least I will say that you don't right now at least. I don't mind them having to breathe. Why would? Yep. They don't need to eat or drink. Alright, cool. Let's give it no breath. Why would the Espers need to breathe? It also flies up high in the air. It probably wants to be able to fly up even higher. So I could see the Sharding Sphinx giving it the no breath ability. Because if you could fly and you're already partially machine, why not make yourself completely machine enough that you could fly so high in the air that nothing will get you? Alright. Make sure we got this. Alright, so Sphinxes, they do have do I want to get rid of anything that they have normally? Alright, Sphinxes do have some innate spells. They are occult. Where do I adjust that on here? Spells, additional spells. I am not sure how, but that's fine. Oh, here it is, spell type. Alright, so they do have occult innate spells. Spell level 5, that's fine. They normally get clairvoyance, clairaudience, read omens, remove curse, dispel magic, locate, tongues, and see invisibility. I like all of those on this, but I think I want to give it one more occult innate spell. Something to do with constructs. Something like a summon or... Let's check it out. Spells, summon construct, curse of lost time, blood ward, disintegrate. I don't want to do anything like that. Make whole. It is... I could just give it repair. Something like that. Alright, we'll figure that out while I write this out. Alright, so, under spells, it will have 5th level clairaudience at will. It will have clairvoyance at will. Are the spells coming up on here? Oh, I have to put the DC in. My bad. Alright, DC, 8 plus 18, that'll be 28. Yeah, that's fine. Why is that only a 26? That should be a 28. There we go. Alright, we don't need the spell attack there because they are not going to be attacked with any of their spells. We just need the DC. Great, great, great. Alright, so clairaudience at will. Clairvoyance at will. Read omens. Remove curse. Let's give it a 4th level dispel magic. Let's give it a 3rd level locate. Let's give it a 4th level locate. We'll be cheeky. And under cantrips, which are 5th level, we'll give it... Oh, they already put that there. We'll give it detect magic, and we will give it a constant tongues, and 2nd level see invisibility. Excellent, excellent. And let's see what we got here on the old search for spells. Internal insurrection, prismatic wall. I don't think... I think those are good. I don't think it's magic. It gets flying... the artificer thing that it does is purely based on artifice, not based on any... I want to give it mending. I'll just give it mending. So mending is normally 1st level spell. This thing is heightening it to at least 3rd level. So let's give it a 3rd level mending. Great, great, great. Alright, can you do mending as a cult? You can do mending as a cult. That's interesting. Mending is all 4 schools of magic. That is something I never thought of before. Alright, so you learn something every day, and that is partially why I'm doing this, is because, dang it, I want to learn as much about this system as possible. So, 35 feet on the ground, fly, 40 feet, good, good, good. We will give this baby a claw. It will be a slightly above moderate attack claw. So plus 22 claw. We'll give the agile trait. It will do low damage. It's agile. So 2d6 plus 10 would be fine. So 2d6 plus 10 slashing damage. That, I believe, is the only melee strike a Sharding Sphinx should have. Let me look at the artwork here. Oh, it doesn't have a mouth. It does have those big claws. It has wings. Yeah, that's the only thing it has. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Alright. Oh, skills. Skills. Sphinxes do, in fact, have the skills that pay the bills. They normally get Bardic Lore, which is really cool. So, its Bardic Lore is also usually very high. Let's give it a plus 22 Bardic Lore. Man. Let's give it Arcana, which will be slightly lower than that. So everything else I'll put here at moderate. So let's give it Arcana. Let's give it Athletics. A little bit higher than that, though, for Athletics, because its Strength is higher than its Intelligence, although its Intelligence is pretty high. Oh, I should give it higher than that. Let's give it a 21. Which means Bardic Lore should be even higher. 23. Great. Let's give it some decent Deception, but a little bit lower than Arcana. So, like 17. Let's give it some Diplomacy, because you might want to talk to this thing, so like a 17. Let's give it some Crafting. Definitely. This thing's an Artificer. We need to give it some high Crafting. Probably this. Yeah, that's good for crafting. And let's also give this. Should I do the crafting instead? These things are intimidating enough. Let's give it intimidation. This thing is a higher level after all, and occultism, of course, because it can in fact cast them occult spells. Awesome. All right. Bardic Lore, we do have to write down in the monster entry exactly what is meant by Bardic Lore. So I believe that is put in under, we'll just put it under here as a general ability. Yeah. So, Bardic Lore. Sphinxes are naturally curious, and their love of puzzles and mysteries lead them to gather information on a broad range of topics. They have the Bardic Lore feat, allowing them to recall knowledge on any topic. Great. That is not an action, though. All right. And they have a claw rake, they have a pounce, and they could usually do a warding glyph. We're going to get rid of warding glyph. We're going to replace it with a new ability unique to the Sharding Sphinx that will set it apart from a normal Sphinx. It will be slightly stronger than warding glyph to make up for the being a higher creature type and all that, but not quite as good, because I don't think Sphinxes in Esper deal in riddles so much as they do puzzles. If they do riddles, I think they prefer. Yeah, no, they do puzzles. They make puzzles. They figure things out by creating. They create devices. They think by making, just like I'm doing right now. So claw rake. That is an offensive 3-action ability. Claw rake allows the Sphinx to use the same bonus as their highest to do 2 claw strikes at the same bonus. If both attacks deal damage, the target takes extra damage equal to 1 claw strike. Alright, so 3 actions, you get 2 claw strikes on the same target with the same attack bonus as your highest melee attack. That is such a mediocre ability, but whatever. Cool. No, it makes up for it. These things fly. These things are not meant to get in your... Well, I was going to say they're not meant to get in your face, but the next ability it has is, in fact, pounce. I still feel like claw rake should just be 2 abilities, but that might... 2 actions, but that might just be too strong. Whatever. Sharding Sphinx. I'm afraid I make my monsters a little bit too strong. I do need to... I know I make my monsters a little bit too strong. I need to rein them in just a little bit. A Sharding Sphinx. Alright, so this is a Sphinx with a bunch of construct immunities, but not all the construct immunities. I don't think the nominally destroyed, they can be affected by a target's living creature or the target's constructs. Okay, cool. So they're not immune to mental effects because of the living construct ability. Great. Had to make sure we had that because in fact, +1 status bonus versus mental effects. I'm gonna give it a +1 status bonus versus mental effects because these things do wear a big mask that is said to like shield them from mental effects, so like it should have it. Alright, so the cool abilities these things have is Thopter Strike, Thopter Summon. I'll think of the name later, but this will be a in fact I'm gonna redo Claw Rake with this because I don't think these things have the hind legs to do a Claw Rake. I'm going to say it instead has Junk Scatter. Man, names. I'm going to think of the name later. But I'm going to give it a 3-action offensive ability where it rears up on its hind legs and makes 2 claws. Where it... Man, it's so hard to think. Okay, so when it hits a player normally, these get to create a Thopter artifact creature. The Thopters are these little flying spheres that you see floating around it. Why would it need to create them after it hits a creature? That is the real question here. Enhanced claws. It has them inside of it. It does it as part of its attack. I don't need to think too hard about why it just does this card. I'm just going to Unleash Thopters as a 2-action. So, summon Thopter. Not summon. Unleash Thopter. The Sharding Sphinx unleashes a Thopter that immediately and at the start of each round gets 2 actions. I'm going to look up real quick the Arboreal Regent because that is another creature that can create creatures in the middle of battle but is not summoning them. And I just want to make sure that I am wording this right, because I'm not 1,000,000% sure how to word that on creatures. Whether or not we need to then make a separate Thopter creature, I think there might be a way that I could do it without. I think, ooh, yes. I just got a good idea. All right, we got this, people. All right, so we got to give this the concentrate and the occult traits. This is going to cause the Sharding Sphinx causes a pile of junk to animate and fight as a minion using the statistics for an arbiter. I might change arbiter, but we're going to figure that out right after I post this. The Sharding Sphinx can control up to 4 arbiter, up to 2. These are weaker than trees. Let's say up to 4 Thopters. I'll write Thopters for now. We'll figure it out later. Up to 4 Thopters at a time, and it can issue commands to all Thopters under its control as a single action, which has the concentrate and auditory traits. Great. In fact, this is a cult. Let's give this concentrate and auditory traits. Yeah, that's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and give this Sunder Objects. Yeah, that's how I'm going to do this. Okay. I got the flavor now. This is going to be a non-action. When a Sharding Sphinx damages an item or structure, it deals an additional 2d10 2d10 damage to that item or structure. If it damages an item or structure for at least 6 2d10, 5.5, 10 damage. Let's go. I don't like the variance of 2d10. Let's do 3d6. It's more, but that's fine because I got 2d10 from an 8th level creature. 2d10, 3, I don't like that. Let's do 3d6. And then if it damages an armor structure for at least 8 damage, 10 damage, 10? Yeah, for at least 10 damage, it creates a pile of junk. And then the Sharding Sphinx causes a pile of junk within 180 feet. Within 180 feet to animate, to assemble itself and animate to fight as a minion using the statistics for a... This is where we need to look up constructs real quick. So I believe there's a great construct from Bestiary 3. It is animated, there's animated broom, animated armor, animated furnace, animated silverware swarm. Ooh, that would almost work, except then you'd have the fork ability to deal with. Animated brooms are -1. That's way too weak. That's not going to add anything to the fight at all. We need at least a CR3. So let's do this as an animated statue. Using the statistics for an animated... Yes, for an animated statue, for a small, let's say for a tiny animated statue, without the earth trait. For a tiny animated statue with a 40-foot fly speed without the earth trait. Alright, now if we do that, it will have a fist ability, which I know doesn't make much sense, and it grabs. No, yeah, animated statue does not work for this. Man, there has to be a small but decently leveled little tiny... Oh, there's clockwork stuff. Oh, clockwork works really well for this, doesn't it? Clockwork Spy? Those are so low level. Ooh, it can make multiple clockwork spies, though. Record audio, self-destruct. Sphinx. It will only do 1d10. It will be a -1 creature on a level 10. Yeah, that's worthless. Let's try a Clockwork Soldier. Yeah, I think we're going to go with a Clockwork Soldier. Maybe an Elite Clockwork Spy? That would still be bad. Alright, so for this, I think we're going to have to make a totally separate Thopter, unless I could instantly see something here. Maybe a Homunc. No, those are also level... There's like no good level 3 little constructs, are there, that would work just well for this. I'm so sorry, I was taking... Oh, dig widgets. If only there was a flying dig widget. Trebuchet, Alios, Desecrated Guardian. Alright, I'm going to have to use the creature search really quick on Archives of Nethys. To do that, you simply filter, you go creature types, I'm going construct, then you go levels, and I am looking for a creature between level 3 and 5, because I could always add the weak or elite templates to make it that perfect level 4 creature I'm looking for. Otherwise, we are going to have to make a Thopter. This is a fight as a minion using the statistics for a Thopter. Alright. Carrying Golem, Dig Widget, Divine Warden of Nethys. Those are large. Need these tiny. Oh, Siege Shard. Ooh. Siege Shards are... Siege Shards are lingering feelings of confinement and desperation. Oh, these are from an AP. Those are not great either. They're kind of what I'm looking for in stat-wise, but they're still not exactly what I want. Necrophidius are not at all what these things make. Yeah, this thing is closest to like an animated statue with a completely different set of abilities. So let's go ahead, using the statistics for a tiny-sized animated statue with a 40-foot fly speed that does not have fly speed without the construct armor ability. I think that would do it. Get rid of construct armor. No, it should have that too. That's fine. Yeah, we're just gonna make this a tiny animated statue with tiny animated statue with is there a clockwork? One little more thing I want to look up. I know, this can make a really boring stream, but yeah, that's a good question. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. You could just give this the clockwork trait. So a tiny animated statue with 40-foot fly speed and the clockwork trait. That would work fine. I don't want to use Clockwork Soldier, even though that's an equivalent CR creature, because they have halberds and all this other stuff that's like, no, it's just a sphere that bops you in the face. It can't hold things. Alright, so with this, the Sphinx will in fact sunder objects, create piles of junk that it might just have around it anyway, depending on how nice the GM wants to be to its players, and then unleash Thopters. Let's make Unleash Thopter a single action, because these things are weak. It wants to unleash lots of Thopters, which they're weak, and it is using Sunder Object to get these Thopters. I think we're good now, though, that we have that, though. So it took a little bit longer than usual, but we did have the news and a slow start. With this, I think we have our Sharding Sphinx. It sunders objects. You'll probably want to hit bridges. If the GM wants, he could come up with some way to use Sunder against enemy gear, but that's usually really bad. This is definitely designed for a specific type of combat in mind, which is funny because the more I look at it, the more I think I'm going to use this in my own campaign. I will have to lower the level substantially, probably to the amount that now I'm wishing I just made this a level 3 creature. Yeah, level 3 creature that makes Clockwork Spies when it hits pieces of junk. That's how I'm going to adjust this for my social media post. So I might just do both. So go ahead. Tell me if you use any of these creatures. I love hearing about them. It will be posted to the Pathfinder 2e Creation subreddit. I will again not have a show until Saturday where I am doing a third-party review either of a third-party product if it comes in the mail or kind of an overall general review of why I like third-party products and why I was wrong for over a decade of my Dungeons & Dragons experience, Pathfinder Dungeons & Dragons experience, not using third-party products when I wish I was, because that is a video I've wanted to do for a long time because people ask me, why should I use third-party products? What third-party products should I use? How do I look for third-party products that are balanced and good and will add to my game? And if I just had a video, that would be a whole lot easier to link people than saying the same thing every time, right? Maybe people would even see it who don't ask me right there. All right, so thank you very much again for joining me. I had a great time. I will see you next week for Booster Bestiary or on Saturday for my normal show. Have a great day. Have a